This next one is an article I covered last week, but I had more to say about it than I realized, because I got off stream and I watched this clip back, and I was like, actually, I didn't quite like think all this all the way through. So I'm gonna click back over here. Okay, so Outkast filed a trademark infringement lawsuit against ATLiens. This is kind of crazy. It says Andre 3000 and Big Boy, who comprise the iconic hip-hop duo Outkast, have launched a trademark infringement lawsuit against the electronic music duo ATLiens. So essentially, they had their second album, ATLiens. I think it was like mid-90s, late 90s when that came out. And this is kind of what I'll say about that. Let's look at pictures of this. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So Outkast is saying that the mask could potentially confuse people into thinking that ATLiens is Big Boy and Andre 3000. Mind you, for the last year, I feel like I've been seeing videos of Andre 3000 being like, I'm done with music. I can't make anything. My creativity's not there. I just it's never going to happen. And that's his own struggle. I'm not, here to talk about that. But look at these dudes' hands. Let's look at their hands, right? And now let's look at a picture of Outkast. Let's look at this picture, right? Right, we got Big Boy and Andre 3000. And let's look at this. I just don't see how anyone could ever get them confused with them. Ever. Right? First of all, skin color difference, right? These guys they're black, they're African American. These are clearly two tatted white dudes. It's like, oh, they're wearing masks so people could think it's Outkast, right? But I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna go to the big camp for this. If you've ever, no one in the EDM community has ever thought ATLiens was Outkast, not once. And I'll just say I've met them. Back in Austin, there was a show at Concourse where I got the chance to meet them with their masks off. It's not Andre 3000 and Big Boy. And don't you think that they would be way bigger of a deal if it was? Right? And that Andre 3000 and Big Boy had this musical 180 where they're making music that ATLiens makes. They make some of the most pun intended, out of this world bass music, and they're a staple, man. They're OGs in the industry. And I was saying this last week, is what sucks is they were probably so influenced by Outkast, and they being from Atlanta. And it was I took it more as a homage to Outkast, given that they aren't making music anymore and haven't for a very, very long time. And now, I could understand if Outkast was making music still, right? And if they were still putting things out, but they're not. They haven't put out music in such a long time. Big Boy, wasn't he on the Super Bowl? Did he perform at the Super Bowl a few years ago? And Andre 3000 has been outwardly done with music. So why are we teaming up to sue? And maybe it's not actually Outkast doing this. I don't know. Seems like a pretty big stretch for them to sue for trademark infringement, basically for saying that, oh, you could get these guys confused with these guys. Not even close, dude. Not even close at all. Nobody thinks these two dudes is Andre 3000 and Big Boy, right? And it wouldn't have taken ATLiens as long as it did. Not that it took insanely long, but it wouldn't have taken them as long as it did for their project to get to the level that it is if they were already Outkast. It's clearly two tatted white dudes making bass music from Atlanta. And again, I've always taken the ATLiens thing as an homage to Outkast being from Atlanta and all that stuff, but it feels like a little late. It's 2024. When did Outkast put their last stuff out? Let's check this out. When did they put out their last song? We're getting investigative here. Wow. They got 1.5 billion streams on Hey Ya. So slowed. So a re-release. Looks like another re-release. Yeah, their last album looks like was 2006. So you haven't released music in almost 20 years, and you're mad about these guys taking an album name, and I guess that's something that maybe they made up, but I don't know. Like it just seems like so dumb, and just for the main fact that they're not doing anything, that Outkast themselves is not doing anything. It's not like they named themselves Outkast and did that, you know? And so they're claiming they made up the ATLiens term. I don't know about that. But I wasn't I think I was 2 when the ATLiens album dropped. So it's hard for me to like really say like for sure with confidence. But this seems like kind of dumb for them to sue these guys based off of the fact that they wear masks, that they have the same name as their second album, you know, the trademark term or whatever, and that people could potentially think that ATLiens is Outkast is absolutely ridiculous. It's absurd.